Honestly, start asking these men for help. While all the men were staring at me push this 70-inch TV out of Best Buy, I'm over here scoping the scene. Because what did you think? I was just going to try to throw it in here for your entertainment? Absolutely not. What, are you going to tell me no? Can't fathom. Mind you, the man I asked, I was like, can you please just help me throw this in the car real quick? He's like, oh no, don't worry, I'm going to get a friend. Excuse me? I don't have to lift a finger? Ask and you shall receive. And then some. Now, joke's on me, because how am I getting it in the house?
Well, I think it just speaks to the number of men that when you ask them to do something contrary to popular belief, they actually do it. I know modern women would have you to believe through all of their nonsense, and even when the man, maybe a few clips ago, helped the woman and she continued to try to charge him. Maybe men are the idiots, because men will see that and they'll be like, man, I don't want to help another woman out because of this, but it's just in me, man. It's just my DNA. It's just how I think. That's how I was raised. I see everything that's going on out here. I see these modern women acting crazy, but I know what my mom and my daddy taught me. They taught me to be a certain way. And something in me can't abandon that teaching. And a lot of modern women, because men have been taught that way, they receive the benefit of it. Does that make sense? Because of man, most men have trouble pulling away or abandoning their post. Then they're always on guard. They're always on duty. And even when y'all are rude, y'all still receive the benefit of a man being on duty.
I've never believed all women. No. And DoorDash girl just solidifies it even more. I am the mother of a young boy, and women like the DoorDash girl terrify me. Because what do you mean all a woman has to do is just claim that it happens and she can ruin a man's life? What do you mean? Without any evidence, without anything. She can just say that he did something and then it's just taken as gospel? What do you mean? And this goes both ways, by the way, so don't sit there and come at me in the comment section. But the fact that this woman had everybody in the beginning convinced that this man had SA'd her just because she said so. Wild.
I feel like I'm sharing the secrets of women that women don't want to tell, but I'm going to share it. Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I think something that women would never want a man to know is truly how much she desires boundaries. She wants to hear no. She wants to see a man who has so much self-control. A man who has self-control and discipline over his flesh is so attractive. And a man who's like, baby, I love you. We're not doing that today, okay? I love you. If he's doing it from the heart posture and reverence of not controlling his woman, that's the difference. A woman can sense heart posture a mile away, and so can men. Men can sense when a woman is being controlling versus nurturing.
I knew bitches was completely bird in the brain and immediately stopped listening to them when they was throwing that phrase, pick me around. And their definition of a pick me was cooking and cleaning. But in the same breath, they'll lay on their back. So how you draw the line at cooking and cleaning, but you a fuck? You see what I'm saying? Don't let these hoes lead y'all astray.
To the girlies that be denying themselves to explore their options for a boyfriend, y'all are better than me. Because if I come across somebody that genuinely piques my interest, but what's keeping me from exploring that option is a boyfriend. I'm not denying myself that experience for a boyfriend. Because what if that guy is my husband? What if that guy is a better suitor? Why am I limiting my options for a boyfriend? A fiance, yes, but a boyfriend, no. And I'm not saying I would cheat, but if I had a boyfriend, I would just say, I'm finding myself being genuinely interested in getting to know other people. And I just think that we shouldn't date exclusively. Because sorry, I can't talk to you. I have a boyfriend. a boyfriend. What is this leading to? What is this leading to? And people may say, but that's what leads to a marriage. I feel like that's what an engagement is supposed to do. Like, an engagement in my eyes is supposed to be that trial run. It's like, now, okay, let's be committed. Let's see how, like, when the ring pops out, let's be committed. Let's see how this could go and see if we want to get married. If not, the engagement is off. You get what I'm saying? Like, now let's actually focus on each other and see if we could take it to marriage. That's what an engagement, I feel like, should be like in my eyes. But if you're just a boyfriend and girlfriend, nothing is solidified and you're just waiting and seeing. I could wait and see with other people too. Why would I cut off my options for waiting and seeing time? You know? And I'm just thinking about this. I'm not saying no boyfriend and girlfriend, because we all know that for most people, boyfriend and girlfriend relationships are convenient, but I'm just thinking out loud. So please don't come with the extremism in my comments.
A man saved a woman who was on the verge of being hit by a car, but was charged with sexual harassment because he made inappropriate contact with her. Police in Los Angeles said 32-year-old Daniel Reed noticed Jessica Moore stepping into the street while looking at her phone. A car was racing toward her seconds away from impact. Daniel reacted instantly, grabbing her and pulling her out of the way just before the vehicle passed. Surveillance footage later confirmed that his actions had prevented a major accident. However, Jessica later filed a complaint stating that Daniel's actions were inappropriate and violated her personal boundaries. Her legal team argued that no one has the right to touch another person without consent, even in an emergency situation. The case has triggered nationwide debate. Millions online argue that Daniel should be recognized for his quick thinking rather than punished for it. Others insist that physical boundaries must still be respected regardless of intent. Legal experts say the case will likely hinge on intent and public morality, raising questions about where the line should be drawn between consent and heroism. Daniel has maintained that his only intention was to save a life.
Are we drawing the lines between consent and your death? Shut this mess up.
This is something that I have learned that I wish I could tell my younger self. So when you are dating guys in their 20s, okay, I feel like there's all this rhetoric online. There's an expectation that you want a guy that you're dating to pay for everything and be financially secure and be a protector and a provider and all these things, right? And that's great. I think that's wonderful. However, guys in their 20s, I think that is a lot of expectation to put on them, particularly financially. I dated a guy who was 40, and it taught me a lot because he, compared to the guys that I had been dating that were in their 20s, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a man. Like, he has his ish together. He's got a house. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, a protector, a provider, a real man. Like, the difference was stark. And it's not to undercut him because he is great. However, I bet you when he was 30, he was not like that. Guys like him, they are created over time, right? All of this stuff going on in your 20s as a guy is turning you into that guy. And when I was looking at, you know, my friends' parents and all that stuff, I was thinking, I was like, gosh, I wonder how many of them at 30 were kind of a dumpster fire. And now they're all wealthy and successful with these stable lives. But that probably didn't come until later. So really, when you're in your 20s, I think what you need to be shooting for in a guy are the qualities that make somebody successful. Because I think now the expectation that we have for guys in their 20s is like, okay, well, you need to be making good money and I need to be seeing evidence that you're going to be able to be a protector and a provider and all this stuff, right? But I think really so much of that comes in your 30s and 40s. And so really what you need to be looking for in your 20s is a guy who is ambitious and responsible and disciplined and has interest in creating a life for himself and growing and improving and bettering himself and has a high standard for the way he lives and is learning and is taking the things that are happening in his life and in his job and using them to be better and has goals and, you know, has a good head on his shoulders, and less of how much money is he making, what career is he in, blah, blah, blah. There is so much life to be lived between 25 and 40, between 30 and 40, between 30 and 35, that really those qualities in a guy in his 20s, I think, are what you're looking for. Not that he's currently in finance making a lot of money. There are a ton of guys that you're looking at that you think are bums right now because they don't have a job that you think is that good, that when they're 40 are going to be making more money than you can even dream of. okay? But if you're just dismissing them because they aren't in finance making a lot of money right now, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Because if you look at your friends' parents, if you were to go interview your friends' parents that are successful and whatever else, I bet you a ton of them did not start making real good money or didn't land in that good career that ended up doing it for them, all that stuff, until they were in their 30s, maybe their 40s, okay? So keep an open mind. I have to remind myself that all the time. And it's not to say date for potential, like, no, but we're all in our 20s. We have not done anything yet. You know, most of us have not done anything yet. So don't hold the guys you're dating to that standard. Hold them to the standard of the qualities inside you that you're capitalizing on are those qualities that will make you successful at some point. That guy in finance that's making a lot of money right now, like, he might totally burn out and turn out to be such a flop. But just because he's making money right now means nothing. And that guy that's kind of scrapping away, figuring it out, he might have $1 million idea sitting in his brain that he capitalizes on in 5 years, and all that gumption and grit that he has inside of him that you're discounting might be the real ticket. Think about that. And that all goes to say the same thing is true for girls. The same thing is true for girls. Look at yourself. Are you sitting here being a powerhouse, making a ton of money, being, you know, as knockout as you think you are? Like, probably not. Okay, so the standard that you're holding to guys, be mindful that you yourself can meet that standard too, or meet whatever version of that standard.
So I'm going to tell this story and you're going to be like, this is why you're single, and that's fine. I don't really care, but I'm going to tell you guys anyway. I was getting drinks with a girlfriend of mine last week. We were sitting at the bar of this restaurant and we meet these guys. Before they leave, one of them asks for my number. He ends up texting me that weekend, asking me if I wanted to go out for dinner with him. We decide to go out for dinner on Tuesday night tonight. So we're texting, he's confirming the date, and he says to me, would you like me to come and pick you up? And do you have any food preferences? Very nice of him to offer, like, really appreciate that. And I'm like, no, totally fine. Thank you so much for offering, but I can come and meet you. And then I say to him, no food preferences. I literally eat everything. I know that's like not very helpful. And then I was like, I live in West Hollywood. Like, where do you live? Do you live in the area? And then I said, and I should not have said this, happy to meet you wherever. This is like the problem between men and women, because men are very literal people and women are not literal people. And I'm not expecting men to be able to read between the lines, but I did not mean that I was going to meet him anywhere. I shouldn't have said that. Period. He winds up telling me that he lives in Redondo Beach, which, for those of you who are not from Los Angeles, again, I'm in West Hollywood. Redondo Beach is about an hour drive from me. Just Google mapped it. Driving to the Redondo Beach Pier from my apartment right now would take me 56 minutes. The second that I learned that he lives in Redondo Beach, like, it's basically just like an automatic, like, because like, come on. But then he says, let's meet at this restaurant in Culver City. Call me old-fashioned, call me annoying, call me whatever you want, but I feel like for a first date, the guy should come to you. And he did offer to pick me up, and I did say, no, I will meet you. But even driving to Culver City from my apartment is about a 30-minute drive. So, like, again, just Google mapped it to the restaurant that he suggested from my apartment right now is a 28-minute drive. Although, yes, I understand that this is probably halfway for him and halfway for me. It's still super inconvenient for me. This is gonna sound really negative and whatever, but, like, after all of this, like, back and forth, I'm just kind of like, is this date even worth going on? Because A, I now know he lives in Redondo Beach, an hour away from me. Like, the likeliness of me driving to see this man often are, like, it's like slim to none, unless you are literally, like, the love of my life, which he seems like a nice guy, but, like, and maybe he'll surprise me tonight. I don't know, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? But whatever. I guess in theory, he could be the love of my life, but it would take so much to motivate me to drive that far of a distance. It would basically have to be like best D of my life to get me to drive an hour consistently. I'm like talking to my girlfriends and I'm just like, what should I do? Should I just bail and be like, hey, like, think you're great, but this is like, you live too far away from me. This is never going to work. Or like, what should I do? Because like, I don't really want to drive to Culver City. So we landed on me suggesting on if he would be open to meeting me in West Hollywood. He said, yes, no problem. Like, again, super nice guy. And then I gave him like a couple of suggestions of places we could go because, again, I was trying to make this like easier for him. And he was like, this place sounds great. Like, let's go there. So that is basically where I leave you with the story. And I am meeting this man tonight at this restaurant. But of course, like, a part of me is just like, what is the point? Like, why am I even doing this? Like, the man lives in Redondo Beach. Like, this is never gonna work out. And maybe you guys think that I'm making a really big deal out of nothing. And you're like, this is silly, like you shouldn't be going into it with this mindset, which you're right, I shouldn't be going into it with this mindset, but I am because I'm realistic, you know? And like an hour commute, that's not nothing, okay? Like that's something. And I don't know.
Not you making me defend a man. I think he sounds nice and accommodating. Here's another one. Respectfully, you will miss out on a lot of great guys with the self-imposed distance limitations. This world is huge. I went on a date with a guy from the Deep Valley. 3 years later, we're engaged and bought a house in BH together. Don't shortchange yourself. Yeah. I'm an LA native and totally get a commute being a deterrent in dating. Sounds like a nice guy and will potentially offer to come to you if you guys hit it off. I think it depends. I don't believe in a lot of these situations men receive a lot from women, and she's already on TikTok, no less, kind of complaining about distance. But if a man would do it, oh yeah, it's fine. If he comes to me, if he compromises, it's fine. But for me, I'm not compromising.
Do you think that we don't see or want to acknowledge the boy crisis as women because we're so afraid to lose any ground that was taken with the feminist movement? Are we willing to do it at the expense of our own sons, moms? Are we? Because that's where all the pushback is from. And I know many of these women, they've got to be moms. Can we not agree that this isn't a zero-sum game? And that just because we want to see the crisis that our boys are in and do something about it, that doesn't mean it's going to take away from our girls. In fact, if anything, it helps and supports girls because we need our men. Are we going to continue to look away or are we going to do something?
Something that I just thought about. Universally, women have bad experiences with men. And it's just like man after man after man after man. It is always a bad experience. But when I sit and think, I'm just like, there is a spiritual attack on men as a whole. God created Adam first. Man was his first creation. Women were created next. So it's like from the devil's perspective, if the devil is coming to kill, steal, and destroy, wouldn't he go after the first creation? These men are being used by Satan. They are attacked the hardest, attacked the most. That is why so many men struggle with lust and all of these things, because the devil is attacking them the hardest, in my opinion.
Is it plausible that in some of these situations, maybe Satan might be the woman? Is that plausible, or is that something that you're not wanting to entertain? I mean, we can circle back around to it, but, let me know.
To that woman in the red dress that was showing off her wedding ring and was like, they told me not to cook, they told me not to clean. I did the opposite, and look at me, I got the ring. Yeah, duh. Like, a husband is one of the easiest things to obtain these days. All you got to do is start cooking and cleaning, and here goes a whole lot of them. These men are lazy. I'm assuming you didn't understand that. I'm sure someone told you not to cook and clean for a man to see if he genuinely liked you past the domestic labor that you would have to do in the household to keep the household running, because most women take on the domestic roles in the house. And you just proved that. You were pretty much saying that you were not able to get a man, keep a man, or obtain a man if you were not cooking and cleaning and doing laundry. The first thing you could think to say after such a major moment in your life, getting proposed to a man that you presumably are so in love with, right, is they told me not to cook, they told me not to clean, they told me not to do the laundry, and I did, and look at me now, I got the ring. Girl, we don't ever want you to come back on here and complain about the workload in the house is too hard and it's too much. That's the whole reason you got your man, right? Because you started to cook, you started to clean, and you started to do laundry.
So for all of you that might not know what she's talking about, if I can find a clip, then I'll put it in here. But essentially what the clip was is I think she was hanging out with her friends, or maybe her friends were there, presumably after proposal. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. I'm assuming that from the clip, when I think about it now, that was the proposal. Okay. So they turned the camera on and you could hear her girls from behind the camera. And she said, they told me not to cook. And her girls was like, yeah. And she was like, they told me not to clean. And the girls was like, yeah. You know, she's just hyping her up when she was talking about the things that society told her not to do for a man as a woman, right? Don't cook for him. Don't clean for him. And she was, you know, just getting crunk. Oh, yeah, you know, just. And then at the end of it, she was like, man, pack that man's lunch. You know what I mean? So that's what she's talking about. Oh, well, you know, you pack his lunch now. You cook him dinner now. You do all this stuff now. What is he going to expect? I'm going to expect for you to continue to do that, of course. Just like you're going to continue to expect me to go on dates or plan dates. That's why you picked me. You know what I mean? You're going to expect me to continue to pay the bills. That's why you're asking me right now if I can pay the bills. I mean, it's not really rocket science. This is not really the gotcha that you think it is. You guys are just lazy. You know what I mean? To be honest, like, maybe not lazy, but you guys really don't want to cater to a man. And I feel like it's going to be hard for you to be in a relationship with a man and a man actually accept the bare minimum that you give him, to be honest.
To all the stay-at-home moms, I feel like you're lying. Because of what I get to do for work, I can still stay home and pay all the bills. And my wife will have to go to work to make her money. And I have a 1-year-old daughter. So I'll stay at home and I'll take care of my daughter. And while I'm taking care of my 1-year-old daughter, I can give her 3 meals a day, change her on time, get her into her naps, playtime, arts and crafts time, and still make sure the entire place is clean. And I can clean the whole apartment while watching her before 12 or 1 o'clock. And yes, I know an apartment is different than a home, but I have a 2,300 square foot apartment, so it's not tiny. But I do know that I can just be ignorant to a lot of people's situations. So can someone please tell me, when does being a stay-at-home mom become hard?
I used to think that the reason why guys would avoid conversations that spike a lot of emotion was because they just didn't understand the reason behind why there is. So then I would just try to over-explain it to them. But instead, come to find out, they actually understand it a little bit too well. And that emotion that gets brought up for them is so intense, and their instant reaction is just to fix it. And since they can't fix it, that creates even like a more heightened emotion. So in between those two things, it just like, it doesn't make sense to give attention to it, so that's why they push it away.
You know, I really need black and brown men to stop being shy when it comes to approaching a girl at a bar, because literally yesterday I was at the bar, right? And then this like white man was like not like to from the start of my night to literally the end of my night, I like was at a new location. I'm like, why is he here? He was like talking to me, not picking up that I did not want to talk to him. And then this man just came in and like was not shy about it, sat right next to me, started talking to me, got me a drink. We found out that he was my homie's ex, so I'm like, no, you're hers. But like, we chilled, we smoked with like all of his homies outside. Like, please stop being shy, please. We want to talk to you.
So I'm sitting at the gas station, fueling up my car as one does at the gas station if they're not there to get snacks. And I go to start my car and it won't start. That's suspicious. So I pop open the hood and I'm standing there looking inside. Now I'm just going to use my best common sense that it probably is the battery. My battery's probably dead. I'll contact AAA, say that I need a jump. But what is freaking bonkers to me is all of these men have come pulling up next to me, come and gone, and not one time, as I'm standing there looking like I don't know what I'm doing, as I'm looking at the engine of my car because I don't know what I'm doing. Is that the engine? Is that the freaking battery? Is that the alternator, the radiator? I don't know. Not one time has someone said, oh, hey, ma'am, do you need some help? Now, maybe I feel that way because I'm privileged, but I think it's rude.
Guys, women are not cooking anymore. Women are not cooking anymore. My grandma does not cook. My mom does not cook. I don't cook. I don't know what's going on, but the generations are just like, we don't want to cook anymore. Every time my man asks me if I can cook, I'm gonna just start saying no, because I don't know why I'm lying. I can't. I don't even cook for myself. The women aren't cooking. I don't know if this is a new epidemic. I don't know if it's just me and my family, but the women aren't cooking, babe. The men are cooking, okay?
You do know they have meal boxes, they have meal prep, they have, once again, crock pots, air fryers, dumb and go meals, pressure cookers. If you don't know how to grill or anything, you can get a Ninja grill. It's not going to be like a real actual grill. It's not going to have the taste of a grill that you want, or it's not going to have, really honestly, truly the taste in a lot of ways and the texture of like a traditional smoker or a traditional pit. But if a man is not really great at that, he can just get that and say, man, I just want a little smoke on mine. I just want a little smoke on mine. I've done that. I've used that multiple times for July 4th, for Memorial Day, for Labor Day, to make some quote unquote barbecue chicken. And my parents loved it. They liked it. I made a brisket, took it to an event that we had. The people there loved it. Oh man, this is great. When you gonna make it again? How did you make this? In a Ninja Foodie Grill XL. Put a little smoke on it right there outside on the patio. So you guys talking about what you're not going to do, there's entirely too much technology out here to be worried about, y'all. Y'all have made for us, and thank you by the way, entirely too many cooking videos so they can watch it and go in there, chives, okay. I don't know how to cut no chives. I'm stupid. I just get them pre-cut. Dang, I don't know how to cut no onions either. I just get them pre-cut. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Right? Dang, I don't know how to make a chicken. Costco, here I come. Sam's Club, here I come. Walmart, here I come. We have Kroger down here. We have H-E-B down here. Here I come. They all have them available. You want a lemon pepper chicken? You want just a garlic and herb? Here I come. Here I come. Period. End of story. Y'all sleeping, but Walmart sometimes, they wings be hidden. Depends on what you get though. So y'all talking about stuff that y'all not gonna do, y'all can stay on the other side of the tracks. The problem here is that you guys get worse and worse every year, and you brag about it, and you key about it, instead of just learning how to do things, just basic skills, like basic skills in order to be in a relationship. Y'all holler and scream about what a man needs to do, and y'all raise y'all standards for what a man needs to do while simultaneously lowering yours.
Here's a list of things that men should not be allowed to have, and they're only for girls. Number 1, oat milk or any alternative milk. Why can't you drink it from the cow? Like from the udder. Number 2, a Stanley Cup. Why are you holding your water bottle from the side, from the handle, and drinking out of a straw? Gay. Number 3, baths. Why are your feet hanging over the side of the bath like that? Gay. Number 4, putting anything in your coffee at all. What do you want it to taste good? Not allowed.
You guys, I was talking to this guy yesterday, and I asked him a random question. I was like, listen, if you were a girl for 24 hours, what would you do? And he thought about it for a second, and he was like, I'd probably just go shopping and probably just like get a man to give me money. And I was like, really, that's it? And he was like, yeah. And he sat in silence for a second, and then he was like, you know what? I would also try to figure out why you guys think the way that you think. I laughed, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you guys are kind of a little bit entitled. I'm like, really? What makes you say that? Like, you're pulling this from somewhere. He was like, well, I had a homie tell me a story the other day about how he had went on a date with this girl. It was probably like their second or third date. And they went out, they had a good time, it was fine. And then 2 days after the date, she texted him and asked him for $250. And he was just going on about like, that's just crazy to me. That's just so entitled to me. Like, what makes you think that you should you should just be asking a man for money. And then I said, no, wait a second. I said, babe, what did you just tell me you would do if you were a woman? He just sat and blinked, and I just started smirking, and he just busted out laughing. The jokes write themselves. Men will demonize a woman for doing absolutely anything, but if they have a chance to be us, they would do those very things.
Well, that was the joke. That was satire. You guys don't get it. It was it. That was a joke. What would you do if you're a woman? Man, you know what? This man happened to do this, and this. So if that were me, I would probably do that. That's the joke. And you come on here and you try to make it seem as though men are out of pocket for saying that. If a woman did it and then I come back and make a joke about it, oh, that's what you would do. Or I have women in the comments talking about men are envious of women. It was just a joke. It was me poking fun of you guys. Just poking fun at you. That's all it was. Don't want to be you. It's just a joke. This is what men, you're proving his point. You think too highly of yourself. You think that you're way up on a pedestal. What he's trying to say is at some point in time, maybe y'all need to back down a little bit. Just back off it a little bit.
Some of you are not crazy enough when it comes to men, and it shows. Because tell me how I always threatened divorce with ex-husband number 3. And because he didn't want to divorce me, he would give in to my demands. So I got a Louis Vuitton out of it and liposuction out of it. And you know what? After liposuction, I would say maybe like 3 months after, I ended up wanting to divorce him for real. So some of you just need to be better at manipulating men to your advantage. Trust me, a guy's not going to care if you're that crazy. If they're obsessed with you, they're going to give in. So take that for what it's worth, I guess.
I'm someone's future wife, so no, I'm not partying half naked on Halloween. You know what? Neither am I, but I'm not getting on the internet and degrading the women that do that. A lot of women are saying this for religious reasons, but it says in the Bible not to judge. So why are you doing it, and why can't you just be kind? As women, we go through too much already, and we can't be bringing each other down. As a woman, thinking that your self-respect or your value as a wife is dictated in what you wear is a very flawed way of thinking. For hundreds of years, men have made women think that their value and their self-respect comes from their modesty, their purity, if they're covered up or not, and that's not true at all. Your value as a woman is not dictated by if you wear more or less fabric. Your value is dictated by your intent, your boundaries, how you treat yourself, your actions, your standards, not by the clothing that you wear. That is a myth made up by men. And also, if you think that you're better than other women because you wear more clothes, you're part of the problem. If you're wearing no clothes on Halloween, good for you. Matter of fact, I want to see. Women are beautiful. You are beautiful, and we are so much more than that. We have to stop letting men make us think that our value and our self-respect and our worth is dictated by what we wear. Also, thinking that women that dress half naked is for men doesn't even make sense, because everybody knows that men love girls that cover up. That makes them wife material. Most women don't wear what they wear for men, whether that be half naked, naked, or completely covered up. Most women aren't going, I'm gonna wear this because this will get me the most attention, or I'm gonna wear this because my future husband will like that I covered up. Most women wear what they want to wear, what makes them feel happy, what makes them feel comfortable, what makes them feel confident. They don't think about what the men are gonna think about what they're wearing. They wear what they want to wear. They don't care about men. Men are not the main character in the decisions that women make, and I don't know why this is still a conversation. If you are a woman, do not slut shame other women. Men do that enough to go around. We have to be kind, and we have to build each other up. If you take anything away from this, it should be that we should just love each other a little bit more. I love you guys so much. I love being a woman. Women are beautiful. They're the creators of life. Women are amazing. I can't even describe how much I love women. You guys are beautiful. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
I mean, if you're out here doing wild stuff, then somebody somewhere ought to tell you to cut it out. Accountability. And at some point in time.
Here's what I feel changed in my marriage. I'm going to tell you this while I package cookies. I lost my job a year ago, 2024. So with losing my job, my husband took on my half of the mortgage. Now, with that being said, not only did he take on half of the mortgage, but that's basically it. He pays for everything house related, home. So I started doing content. I started, I was collecting unemployment for a bit, and I was still paying the mortgage. Partial, but paying what I could. So with that being said, I, as you can see, am doing cookies. I have always enjoyed doing cookies to a capacity. Now, I felt like I really needed to generate an income, so I opened up the cookie business, which is really fun and really great, but it's taking such a toll on myself, my time with my daughter, my time with my husband, just so much time in general that it takes me away from. Now, I feel like I know I'm not generating the income that I should be generating, or the income that I was generating when I had a full-time job, right? So, and that's okay. I have managed to live within my means to accommodate my bills, like my car, my insurance, my phone bill, the life insurance I pay for my husband, myself, and my daughter, my bills. And that's what I take care of. So it's very hard because I feel like now that he has to do those things or pay my half of the mortgage, he's more upset, and I think he's a little bit more resentful because of how much time I spend doing cookies and I am home, whereas I'm not home having a full-time job and working 40 hours or more. But I think that is part of the reason why he feels the way that he feels, and I think that he acts the way that he acts towards me, is that it's just not enough, right? So, doing this is great. I love it, but I don't love the time that it takes away from my family time and just having a life. Even when it comes to doing anything self-care for myself, just to get my nails done, it's like a task, so it's hard. And I know it's hard, and I don't know if this is for everybody or this is happening to anybody else, but it is something I struggle with right now. And I just like to think that it's hard because I have a toddler. Things are going to get better in time and over time. And if I can focus on my business, then I'll get bigger and expand, right? And I'll make more money and it'll be great. But I don't know, because I don't know if I would treat anybody in a really shitty way in the process. So I don't know.
I see these types of things, and I think listening to it, you guys are really terrible partners, honestly. I don't know how anybody would sit here and put this online. This has to be, in my opinion, I feel like it has to be rage bait. I feel like it has to be rage bait. I feel like this is not serious. Yeah. So no reason to get upset. She's just joking. It's not serious.
The screenshots here, damn. Here you go. These DMs ain't much to them, just fire emojis. If you're wondering, why don't you respond? It's Chris fucking Brown. I got a man that I fucking love. Okay, you got me. That's my man. And two, it's just Chris Brown.
Every day women get on the internet and embarrass their husbands, their boyfriends. And for what? I don't understand. You sold my man, but you had to let the world know that Chris Breezy DM'd you. You had to let everybody know that Chris Brown wanted you. You know how embarrassed I would be if that was my girl, right? Like if my girl got DM'd by insert celebrity name here, and she had to go online and say, just talk about the fact that this celebrity DM'd her, and she's like, oh, it's just Chris Brown. But if it's just Chris Brown, why'd you have to make a video about it though? Like, that's embarrassing to your man. Maybe he don't think it's embarrassing, but people got secondhand embarrassment for him. Like, maybe I'm tripping. Fellas, how would you feel if your wife got on the internet talking about how insert celebrity name here DM'd her? How would that, like, she had to make a whole video about it? How would that make you feel? To me, that's embarrassing. Maybe I'm tripping though. I don't know. Maybe I'm strict. I don't know.
So apparently I'm reading in the comments that she is an adult star. Somebody said, y'all must not know who Zoe Sin is. Look her up in the library. And then I was like, who's that? I thought she was like a singer or something like that. I thought she was like an actress, something like that. It says, okay, Somebody says, if you think about it, she could have just blocked and went on about her day. Clout is a drug, bro. It is. A woman says, if it's just Chris Brown, why did she do a video about it? Okay, and another person, and this was where I found out that she was an adult star. She's a P star. She's doing this for attention. Yeah, man, you know. So I guess that is for attention. I guess that is. I would have never even known. I would have never even known that. These modern women are out here doing crazy stuff.
Not to be that person who's like, I'm chronically single, help me, but I'm chronically single and please help me. I'm turning 35 in November and I'm feeling a real strong kind of horrible way about it. And I just, like, I've come on here for some love and cuddles because honestly, I just want to slap my face with like a big old wet fish and be like, be grateful. Like I've got so much going for me that I love about myself, and yet my romantic life is just dead. Self-inflicted, by the way, and self-imposed to a degree, but dead. And girls, like, I'm a big hype woman. I believe in myself, but fuck me. 2 years of, you know, ghosting and all the same stuff that all of you go through, it's not unique. It does something to one's self-esteem eventually. And I've had a lovely day and you're sitting at home at 8:30 p.m. and you finished all your bits and you're about ready for bed on a Saturday. And I'm like, this is great. But also, tomorrow your fertility falls off a cliff. What are you going to do about it? As a 35-year-old woman, you're going, I love sitting here in my fluffy socks watching Married at First Sight, being chronically single and online. And then also, but you should probably think about having a family like tomorrow if you'd like that. I don't even know if I would like that, but if you did, you've got 5 minutes to think about it. And also, any man who sees 35-year-old single woman on a profile of any kind will go, oh God, she's probably desperate for babies right now. Red flag. That in my mind all the time. Gnats, like batting them away. Fuck off. I actually hold the button and go, not interested, when I see women going, 35-year-old plus, like, love your life, things happen for a reason. I'm like, no they don't, Betty. It might do in Miami, Florida, but it doesn't in Southwest London. We are in the era of 35-year-old men going for 24-year-olds. Unless Harrison Ford is dottering about the place and like hanging out in the Ned in his spare time, I'm not going to find my dream man who is Colin Firth and Bridget Jones 1. My sister used to always joke and say, Claire, you just need to find yourself a boring geography teacher. And honestly, and when I say boring, I mean hot and like smart and just like not a high rocks bro or like a runner. I want someone who's not obsessed with anything. Like, is that weird? Is that a weird thing to have? I just want someone who likes life and is interested in lots of things and curious and open-minded and loves to learn and not obsessed and fixated. So if anyone knows anyone who knows anyone who knows anyone, that's crisis for a Saturday night over. I feel a lot better, so thanks for listening. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I changed a bulb and I cleaned my hob cooker's filtration system. I just don't think a personality like this will thrive on a dating app. There's no way you'd get that woman can change a bulb and clean her filtration system on a Saturday night energy. I don't know how you really get that across in a profile. I'd be willing to download them. No, maybe not. Maybe.
Dating men in their 20s is crazy because what do you mean you've never thought about what hobbies you have? I said, what are your hobbies? He said, never thought about that. What?
You know what? I'm just going to say what we're all thinking anyways. Men should not be allowed to be gynecologists, period. I'm sorry, but I can't think of a logical reason why a man would want to go into gynecology. Like, I had to go get a pap smear done, and my gynecologist, who is a woman who I usually see, could not see me. But because my insurance is ran out because I quit my job and I haven't started my new job yet, I go to get a pap smear done, couldn't see my main gynecologist girl. So I had to see a guy doctor. The only person available was a guy doctor. So I go in and I'm already uncomfortable because, you know, a woman knows when you get a pap smear done, like, it's not a comfortable thing, okay? It's already uncomfortable. So now I'm even more uncomfortable because you're a man. You're a man and you're looking at my hoo-ha, okay? And I don't want you looking at my hoo-ha unless, you know, it's go time, if you know what I'm saying, okay? So I'm already tense. And you know when you get a pap smear done, you have to absolutely relax because otherwise they're not going to be able to go in and get the swab. Like, you have to relax because the will close up, okay? The hole will close up if you don't relax. So I'm already tensed up and the doctor is telling me, like, you need to relax, like, you need to relax. And I'm trying to tell him, like, I was like, okay, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm trying to relax. Why did he yell at me? He was like, you're not relaxing. I'm like, bitch, I know because I'm uncomfortable. Like, you don't know the uncomfortableness it feels to have the go in and swab. Like, it's very uncomfortable. It doesn't feel nice, especially if you have vaginismus or any endometriosis or anything like that, like, or you have cysts in your it hurts. It's like it's painful and it's uncomfortable, okay? And you're a man. So it's like he was getting frustrated with me because, like, I wouldn't relax. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, my gynecologists that are women have never raised their voices at me or gotten upset when I haven't been able to relax. Like, they talk to me so softly and are just like, and that's why I never have an issue when it's a woman doing it. I literally never have an issue. I feel like I'm able to relax more. My body doesn't tense up and I'm chill. Like, I'm chill. And this is why this is like one of the main reasons why I don't think men should be allowed to be gynecologists, because, like, there's just like a level of understanding that you don't get. You will never understand, like, you don't get. And also, I don't know why you want it's something sinister, in my opinion. I can't, if someone can give me a logical reason in the comments that could change my mind on why men become gynecologists, I'll hear it, but I can't think of one logical reason why they want to be a gynecologist. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. They obviously don't have the patience to do it, so.
My gyno is male and I love him. Thank you, ma'am. Somebody else says, I think it's good that there are both genders in gyno. Some people may have been SA'd or even just had bad experiences with women and would prefer male gynos and vice versa. Thank you. I know you guys like to demonize what men are able to do and what men are capable of doing, but, you know, just the ignorance in your statement. Why don't you leave people alone? How come you're not at work? How come you're not working? How come it's not you out there? As a matter of fact, if you want change, be the change. I forget who said that. You be the change that you want to see. How about you get out there? Oh, wait, you're probably not going to do that.